host, Karla Nivens.
Welcome to the Every Heart, Every Woman radio show. I am your host, Karla Nivens. Our show is a program of Love Ministries, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. You can find out all of the great information about Love Ministries as you head to their website. Go to loveministriesbuilds.org. You can also visit my website, karlanivens.com, and you can get all of the great information about Karla Nivens Entertainment and Every Heart, Every Woman. Well, I am so excited to welcome for the second time to our show, Tracy Ripsin. Tracy has been a model for over 25 years. She's a model coach and instructor, a fitness instructor, and the founder of Love Stack. Tracy has workouts, and I want to read to you what she has about her workouts. Her workouts say her style is strong and steady. If you take her 30-minute class, you will be moving the entire time. You'll have a 30-second break halfway through, and then she'll have you in each workout for 60 seconds, focusing on form and muscle activation. So Tracy, thank you so much for being here. Welcome back for the second time.
Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Tracy, I have noticed that during this pandemic, there are so many of us who, are really trying to key in on our fitness, but it's hard because we're inside so much. And a lot of my friends and, have come up to me and said, it's really hard to maintain your fitness. We've all put on some pounds and all of that. But I noticed, I saw you at Love Ministries about a month ago, and I was like, Tracy has literally maintained the same fitness throughout this whole time. So I want to know how you stay committed, and with the mental fortitude that it takes to stay committed. How in the world are you keeping your fitness during this time?
Well, I feel like I didn't really have any other options. When we went into lockdown and I basically lost my job, when you can't go to a photo studio and shoot anymore. My other option is I don't have kids. I, didn't have kids to try to get through school at home or anything. And so I'm sitting in my place, and the only other option was, well, I suppose I should work out. And that's kind of how the program started, was because I thought, well, otherwise I'm just going to be sitting here doing nothing. And so I started doing 2 classes a day, every day, online. And a lot of it were women that had the kids at home, and they said, we need a quick, effective workout. And so I was like, well, let's do it 30 minutes. We'll get your heart rate up. You'll be working the entire time. And we got a group online that met every day, and we did our workouts, and it was kind of like a support group. It turned out to be, where we all got to see each other and then scoot out. Some of my girlfriends were working out in their closet, shut the door quick. It's like, this is my 30 minutes. So yeah, but it came about kind of out of necessity, really.
I think that's really cool. And a lot of times that's, how the best ideas come to you. They come to you out of necessity, number one. And then you turn it into a business, which I say is just like a Proverbs 31 woman. That's what, Proverbs 31 is all about, women who are out in the marketplace, who are thinking of great ideas, who are respected in their areas, and they, take a passion and then make it into a business. So I love it. And I applaud you for doing that. Even as it started out of necessity, I think is really, really, really cool. So I also want to ask you about nutrition, because nutrition and fitness, they go hand in hand. So what's your philosophy on how people should eat? Or do you give people advice on how they should eat?
I don't give, there's so many diets and so many fads and so much information out there,
Right.
where I think it's just a matter of starting to find out what works for you. And I found, just because I don't want to memorize it all, and I don't have one diet or fad that I stick to, but there is a Dr. Mark Hyman, who he's kind of my guy, where I'm like, okay, he sets these kind of guidelines, mostly, vegetables. I think it's like 10% red meat, and then other, he kind of has guidelines that I like to follow. And then that way I don't have to memorize it all. And I do not eat, or I try not to eat, or I regulate like sugar, carbs, anything that causes inflammation is what those are the guidelines that I follow.
Okay. That's interesting to hear that, you kind of follow the guidelines, but you don't have like a strict thing that you make yourself do.
Yeah. And I've tried a lot of it. I've done like Whole30. And I think it's body type, as far as I have friends that are vegetarian, and I just, I have a body type that I have a very fast metabolism. So I feel like I need more proteins and meats. And I started counting my macros during COVID, and I realized, my smoothie that I had in the morning was almost all sugar. And I didn't, I just put in fruits and some greens, and then I broke it down while counting the macros. And I thought, I'm just sugar bombing myself first thing in the morning, spiking that insulin. And so kind of paying attention to that insulin and how much sugar you have. So.
Okay.
And the reason, and really the reason why I started paying attention to sugar was because of my job. It would create acne. And I thought, well, I can't have like broken out skin all the time and then going into work. And so that I said, we got to get down to the bottom of it. I tried every topical product for years and years. And then I went to the doctor, and she said I was pre-diabetic. And I thought, how is that? Because I don't feel like I eat really unhealthy, but there was a lot of stuff I didn't realize when I started counting the macros. That was like, okay, I am eating more sugar than I realized.
And probably
that avocado in there, and I put the protein in, and then I kind of balance it out, and then it all works together rather than just a bunch of sugar.
Yeah. Probably so many of us are eating more sugar than what we think.
Yeah, without even knowing. It's not, right. I'm not eating a cupcake. I mean, I do, but you think that's, well, as long as I cut out the sweets, that I'm fine, but that's not really the case. It's what I found during COVID.
Right. So Tracy, can you take us into your workouts? So I read your philosophy. It's strong and steady. You take a 30-minute class, you get in each workout for like 60 seconds. And I've seen a little bit of your workouts on, I think it was on Instagram. And so, and it really is, it's not like jumping around and all of that. It's very focused, and it looks like it keeps you lean, like lean muscle. Yeah.
And this is another one where body type comes in and what your goals are. And because it is fast paced, because your heart rate is going the entire time, it does burn the calories. You do lose the weight. Now, I tend to like to try to put on weight with my workouts, but that wasn't an option for me during COVID because my gym was closed. And so then I started these, it's kind of a Pilates based. So what I'm trained in, I got certified right before COVID to be a Pilates instructor. And also the reason I started teaching classes was because I wanted to keep up with these new skills that I learned. Except at the studio, I would teach on a reformer, and at home, I just teach on a yoga mat. And it's a continuous flow. Well, I grew up in ballet, and it's sort of like that where we count you into the movement. And then I do a demo for the last 10 seconds and say, here's going to be your next exercise. You're going to start that in 5, 4, left foot forward in 3, and then you flow right into the next one. That's how we get our continuous movement. So it's not like a boot camp where I don't do a lot of burpees or jumping jacks. You do get your heart rate up. It's more the steady heart rate because of the constant movement.
But I really can't see how that would allow a person to lose weight. Back in the day, we were taught, yes, you have to do the burpees, you have to make sure you're jumping around, it's got to be that kind of exercise to lose weight. But also, as you get, as your age goes up, that same philosophy doesn't actually do it for your body. And this is a kind of philosophy that will allow your heart rate to still get up, and then you are working those muscles pretty tightly,
And I target, so you can still purchase my classes online, and like, say for instance, I have a glute workout where I'll focus, let's see, I think it's 10 minutes on the glutes, and then I break up abs and arms for the other half, where you're getting majority glutes, and then you really just burn out that muscle group, and then we'll still do abs and arms just to keep up, to finish out our 30 minutes. But I like to focus on each muscle group, and then throughout the week, after we do our glutes the first day, then we'll go through and do majority abs, and then the last day we'll do majority upper body, arms. And so I like to change it up and give the rest of the, your body that time to rebuild as you're doing the other muscle groups. So there's a method to it all. And like you said, for body types, like if you're holding a plank, that can be just as difficult sometimes as doing all the jumping jacks.
Yes. I remember there was a plank challenge that came my way during COVID, and I did not do the plank challenge because I was like, I cannot hold a plank. Or they were trying to see who could hold it the longest, and I was like, I know I can only hold it for a second or so.
Yeah, a few. Well, then there's options. I also have modifications. So in my class, if you want to hold your strong plank, or you can add on your advanced option, drop down to your forearms, press back up, you get some tricep exercises, or you can hold it on your knees, whatever your level is, but challenging yourself every time to push up to that next advanced level.
Yeah. That's good, because what I can say is, yes, I cannot hold a plank for very, very, very long. But when I get in a class and I'm practicing, regularly, I can hold it longer.
You start to notice, like, I can do this now. Yeah. That's awesome.
But no, not during COVID. I was like, I don't take that challenge.
Not right now.
I'll fail. So tell us about more kind of about the website, and about how, what's the website called, and how does it work, and how do you get into it and start doing the workouts?
Yeah. So unfortunately, when I started teaching, it was just, let's see, I forget what day we locked down, but it was almost maybe day 2 of lockdown where I said, I'm going to start teaching these classes. And if I would have known lockdown was going to be longer than 2 weeks, I would have started recording them. And so it took a while before I realized, okay, this isn't going anywhere and I should start recording these. But after a while, I started recording the workouts that I was doing online, and then putting them. I found a platform called Untitled, where I can upload the workouts and people can go through and purchase them. And you can find Untitled on my Instagram. My link in the bio will bring you straight to my site. You can kind of scroll through and see. A lot of them are full body. And then I did like a challenge, a 3-week challenge where I broke it up by muscle groups. So you can just find me on Untitled and Tracy Ripsin, and just some of my, and I also started adding in vacation classes. So if you are on vacation and all you don't have any weights at your hotel or at your house, that you can do it on the go. So there's, and once you buy them, then you always have access to them.
Yeah, that's cool. Really good. It's like you've thought of so many different scenarios. Yeah.
Yeah. And I had seen that other instructors did it. This is just for fitness instructors. And so it seemed to be working for a lot of other instructors. And I thought, let's do it. Let's see if and also I had some women say that there was like 50-50. Some women wanted to do it only at our live classes that we were doing. I was teaching 2 classes a day, 10:30 and 4:30. And they wanted the accountability of knowing that I was going to be on the other side of the screen, and they didn't show up. I was going to know, it's like working with a personal trainer.
Right.
But then there's other women that they say, well, I don't want you looking if I have bad form or whatever. So I'm just going to do it on my own. And so you have both that are,
Okay.
So it's available, and I'll sometimes still do live classes. But now that I have the option to get back to the gym, I like to add in heavy weights for my own personal workouts.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? So pre-pandemic, I was taking a yoga class at the church at Highland Park. And I think I've been taking it for a while. And then Christmas came around and the instructor asked if I could sing, like do the music live as like a Christmas present to the class. And so I'm up front and I'm singing and she's doing all the poses. Like I can really truly see her do all the poses. And I thought, I wonder why she lets me in this class, because I know look horrible compared to her. Like her form was just perfect, right? But she would come, she never said, Karla, you look horrible, which she should have. After I saw her do it, like do herself, I thought, why did she let me in this class? I'm not good. So I can understand both scenarios. People saying, I want you to tell me. And she did correct us, some. I'm not going to say she didn't correct us at all. She did correct us some, but I had no idea how horrible I was.
Well, and that's what, especially with yoga, it's the bringing in the mind with the body. And so even just the mental, like, I'm not good. That's part of yoga, is reframing your mind and saying, I'm as good as I need to be right now. And tomorrow I'll be better. And, with every exercise routine, it's this equal mind body, as it is just for you. Yeah. So you did great, Karla.
I told her after the class, I was like, I don't know why you let me in the class. I look nothing like you. So, Tracy, let's talk about Love Stack, because Love Stack was one of the things that we would do pre-pandemic when we were meeting actually in person for Every Heart, Every Woman. Love Stack, and this is what you have on your website. This is inspiration through creation. Gemstone bracelet stacks made by women who are generating their authenticity through creation and community. And so how it was a part of Every Heart, Every Woman is when we were meeting in person, we used to kind of do Bible study and do some studies, and we were putting together the bracelets. And then you were taking them to fairs and you were selling them. So, and I know the pandemic has caused, all of this, you have to rethink about a business and do things a different way. And so give us an update on what Love Stack is, how you're doing it, how you're doing it now.
Yeah, that was another thing that had to shift, because we couldn't meet in our groups anymore. And that was kind of the whole purpose. Was the idea came about because I saw so much value in women getting together and talking and telling their stories. And then I also I grew up with a very creative family. And so I was like, well, I know how to make bracelets. And so how do we incorporate these two things? And that's how Love Stack came about. And then the pandemic comes and it's like, well, now the main ingredient is missing, where we can't get together in groups and chat. And really I had everything. And so I just sat and made bracelets at home during the pandemic, and sold them just online, and kind of took out that aspect of it. And then as the pandemic as lockdown, as we started opening up, I had a friend reach out to me that owns Breathe Meditation. And she said, could we sell your bracelets here? And I said, yeah, that works out perfect for me, as a great transition, because during the pandemic, I also started making the bracelets with a little bit. Before, when we were doing them together, it was just all one stone all the way around. It was very simple because we kept the design simple just so that it was more focused on the conversation. Well, then when I was doing it, I thought I can change up the design and put different beads and patterns and whatever. And so when I started selling them at Breathe, that was kind of what changed. Was it did become more fashion. And I still hold seminars at Breathe where we do the women's groups together, and have our conversation. So it's that inspiration through creation of the bracelets, but also the community and the conversation is kind of the base of it all. Yeah, and I have them on today. These are my.
I should have had mine on. I don't, but yeah.
I love these ones. This is my newest collection, and it's gold, and then each little gemstone, citrine and lapis and labradorite, and it's kind of just something you stack up with all of your other bracelets, and I love them. I always have something on, and I've been doing anklets now too.
Okay, cool.
Throw anklets in for the summer.
Cool. So you're selling them at a store, you say, called Breathe, in person in Dallas. And then you can also get them online though, right?
Yeah. I have a website, and a lot of people just reach out to me on Instagram too. And I post the pictures of them. People say, I need those. And yeah, so there's been, moving away from modeling during the pandemic was like starting up the fitness thing and starting up a website. And so not all of it is totally complete, but it's happening.
Yeah. That's what it's all about. I mean, we're all on a journey. Yeah, I love it. And so one of the things that I know that you do, because when a part of Every Heart, Every Woman, we had women from all walks of life, and some were women in low income situations. And when we would do the bracelets and you would sell them, you would then bring a portion back for the women, and it was a blessing to their bottom line as well. And so I know from knowing you that volunteerism is very important. Like, you volunteered for Love Ministries for, do we know how many years? I mean, I never keep years in my mind, but
yeah, I mean, now I think it's probably been 5 or 6 years.
5 or 6 years. Yeah, it's been.
All my kids have grown up. I go back, and it's like now the little ones are in my teenage class.
Yes. And we get new little ones all the time. So I was in Dallas this past Wednesday, and I was meeting kids, like meeting a whole new group of kids. We got a lot of new younger kids now. So yes, you're right. Like, it has been a while, and those little kids, they've grown up. And so tell our audience, because I know this answer, but tell our audience, what value does it add to your life, like connecting with people through volunteerism and through other nonprofits? Yeah,
originally I mean, maybe this was a selfish reason initially why I got involved, but I had some teenage girls that I was good friends with, and then we weren't hanging out anymore, and you said, I have some teenagers that you can come. And that's really how it got started, was because I was like, I have this missing space in my life, and you were like, oh, here you go, come in to Love Ministries. And that's how I got started down there. And then just developing the relationships with the girls, mostly it was girls, and then going on the retreats with them and just kind of seeing, I don't know if it makes a difference. I hope it does, as we're talking and going to their volleyball games and watching them grow. And it's just been, I don't know, it's just been beneficial for me. I just love being able to have that as part of my world. And it was for 5 years, every Wednesday night. And it obviously during COVID, it shut down, but I've stayed in touch with some of them, like through email. And yeah.
No, it absolutely does make a difference for our young people. They know who they can count on. Like they know the faces they can, you know, picture seeing there, and then that's why they come, to be able to connect, with all of the volunteers. So we are very thankful that you continue to stick with us and continue
Yeah,
to volunteer.
I'm excited to get back down there.
Yeah, and so it is picking back up, Tracy. Like I was there last Wednesday, and I'll be there in a couple of weeks again, and there are more and more kids every single time. And so
I know we had the kickoff like a month ago, and it was a lot more volunteers than what there had been in the past too.
Yes, yeah. So it's growing. It's a blessing. So Tracy, give us your social media and your websites one more time, just to keep those fresh on our minds so we can reach out to you.
Okay. Social media, Instagram is just Tracy Ripsin. And then my bracelets, which you can't purchase online right now, but you can see them available at thelovestack.com. And then you can find my on patio workouts through Instagram in my my heading. There's a link.
Okay, perfect. And Tracy, right before we leave, I always ask people, what's your best advice for leaders? And I know you have a lot of advice because you have a lot of experience, not only as a model, but now as, helping other modeling. And I can tell from your Instagram that it looks like that you are doing some of your own things as well, with modeling. So what's your best advice for leaders?
Especially when I'm teaching new younger models. I train most of the new models that come through my agency. And when I'm either it's runway class or a camera class, I'll show them what I do, but I always make sure to say, but do it how you would do it. I said, this is what it looks like when I do it, but to make sure that you're bringing who you are into it. And so that's always make sure you stay true to yourself. And then, so it's not, don't lead because I said so, or don't be this person because I said, but be this because that's genuinely who you are, and follow who you really are. And that is, I guess, the only advice I have.
Yeah, no, that's great. That is great advice. We can take that to the bank for sure. Tracy, thank you so much for joining us on Every Heart, Every Woman. Everyone, my name is Karla Nivens. I will see you back here next week.